What's up, Laker fam? Lakers basketball is finally back, man. We've been all waiting. So glad. Welcome to the Lake Show podcast. On today's podcast, I'm going to be giving my game recap and five takeaways from this game. Now, before I get into the recap and my five takeaways, if it's your first time to the channel and you're looking for a different flavor of Laker basketball content on the tube, and you value objectivity, rationale, logic, unbiased content based on substance and empirical data from a student of the game's perspective, then y'all came to the right place. Consider subscribing. For those of you who are already sub, switch that notification bell to stay up to date as I drop videos. Also, if you shop Amazon and want to support my content, the best way to do so is to shop through my Amazon affiliate link. The link will be in the description of this video and in future videos, as I'll utilize those funds to improve the channel. Laker fam, I just copped a fresh Lakers phone case, man. It's pretty dope. It's got a screen protector as well in the case, man. I had to cop me one. Y'all know how it is. Got to represent the Lakers. So, definitely get this. If you guys want to represent, the link will be in the description, Laker fam. I had to upgrade from this bum ass case that I had for 4 years or so. So, got to represent. Let's get into my game recap and my five takeaways from this game. And obviously, it was a scrimmage game, Laker fam, so it's not really much to take into account. But there were some good things and some bad things. But we all know that AD and LeBron, they're up to speed, so that's out of question, man. They're already in playoff mode. But first quarter, MAVS started off hot from three. Luka hitting threes. Steph Curry, man, looking like his brother Steph. It is what it is. It runs in the family, man. They got shooters, so they got to shoot their shot. But McGee, then starts with 2 buckets at the rim. Danny Green, hitting open threes, man. Nice sight to see. We know he's been struggling with his jumper all season long. And then, so it's good for him to be hitting his shots because he's going to get a lot of open shots, whether it's on the break and transition or whether it's off of ball screens. The defense was a step too slow to contain 3-point shots. That's been kind of a theme for the Lakers this entire season. And now with the restart, I know it's a scrimmage, of course, but that's something that's carried over after the 4-month or so hiatus that we had due to the pandemic. But at the 4-minute mark, AD showing us a reason why he's the defensive player of the year. I don't think there's any question to doubt. He's my pick. I'm sure he's you guys' picks and everybody else's pick, whoever is voting for the NBA awards, which, by the way, I'll be dropping a video on that, so y'all can stay tuned for that to get my selections for NBA awards. But he got still at the 4-minute mark. The Lakers were scrambled defensively as the Dallas Mavericks were moving the ball side to side, and then AD was able to draw the charge after defensive rotating. He's a great on-ball defender, and he's also a great team defender. Love having a big man who is mobile, who can cover a lot of ground and switch onto guards and contain them, and then make them alter their shots. The value of that type of big man is huge. It's going to come huge in the playoffs when the Lakers are going to switch defensively, because that's most of a strategy nowadays is the big man switching on to the guard and being able to stay with them. But man, Dion, I get buckets. Waiters, man. Waiters Island is in effect in Los Angeles for the Lakers. Had a nice pull-up jumper on the ISO. His first bucket, of course, in fashion. You know how Dion gets. And Waiters back-to-back jumpers looking good within the first quarter with his first end of action as a Laker. And the good thing about it, man, this game is that he's showing that he's going to be a reliable third option, as I said in my last video. But that's the new third option. I told you all the last podcast, and it's going to come to fruition. And also, that he's an insurance policy to Kyle Kuzma. It's going to make Kuz step up his game. That's also the benefit of signing Dion Waiters. But the D wasn't good to start, but it picked up a little bit throughout the game. Danny Green, 9 points. His jumper was looking good. True to form as he's finally starting to hit open jump shots. Hopefully that carries over to the regular season. The Lakers are down 11-4 to start, and then they close the quarter on a run to end the first quarter, I believe, up 29-22. And then second quarter, Kuzma was struggling to stay in front of Luka. That's definitely an issue in terms of his defense. He has to improve laterally. He tends to erect it to my liking in terms of when I'm observing him game in, game out. But, Luka was able to take him to the rim at will. Had an easy drive to the lane, a dunk in the second quarter. to cut the deficit to within 1 point. And then Kuzma, overall just has struggled defensively throughout the year. Slight improvement. I'll give him credit on that. Hopefully he can improve during the playoffs because he's going to be guarding elite, forwards, threes, and fours. But LeBron at the 6-minute mark had a nice drive to the rim behind the back. I think going past Luka, full court after a Jared Dudley nice screen. And, that was a nice move and finish by LBJ, man. So it's good to see him true to form. And then Dwight Howard at the late 5-minute mark showed us why he has been a big impact on the Lakers. His ability to cover a lot of ground as well and alter shots when, he's defensively rotating and things of that nature. Defensive versatility like that is going to come in handy, man. So it's good to have Dwight Howard, a redemption season for him. Have another big man that's mobile and able to stay with guards. But Lakers got to still at the 3+ minute mark, and LBJ had the lead break to Dwight Howard for the lob dunk, man, in transition. Nice play there. Lakers in top 3 or so in transition, I believe, transition points, and then going to another aspect in the playoffs of the Lakers defense, causing TOs. Getting to the free throw line or getting to the cup. That's going to be an aspect, getting transition points from their stops. But and if also Danny Green, guys like KCP and so on, other players that could hit shots, it's going to open up the floor a lot for the Lakers in transition. It's going to make them tough to cover. We've seen that with Mavericks, teams that can shoot the ball. As we've seen evidence of this game where the Lakers are unable to contain them within transition. So that's how they were able to stay in this game as well. So that's definitely something that the Lakers have to improve on. And then nice backdoor defense by KCP in the second quarter, preventing a lob dunk at the 42nd mark or so. And then LBJ was open for a transition dunk. We already know what he does with that. He's going to finish it. I believe Big Game James Worthy said, he's like a freight train, man. Get out of the way. So it is what it is. But I like what I saw in the first half. Laker fan ball movement, all ball screens to get the Lakers teammates open. They weren't just standing around kind of playing, playground basketball with AD and LeBron James. But we also are seeing more scoring options other than AD and LeBron. We're seeing Waiter step up. He's going to be the legitimate third option, and Danny Green shooting well within the first half. Then Lakers defensively was solid, after a slow start. So, Lakers caused, I believe, 11 turnovers in the first half. With active hands and defensive rotation. I credit Quinn Cook looking at him. He was moving well. Same thing with KCP, crowding the space of the dribbler, making it tough for them to get their shoulders past as a ball handler. Once you get your shoulders past your defender, he's pretty much a done deal because it's all about angles. But I like the fact that they were active defensively, both KCP and Quinn Cook, active hands, and then our bigs, AD and Dwight Howard were altering shots at the rim and then also helping recover. So again, it's good to have big men that can do that. It makes the Lakers tougher defensively to beat at the rim and things of that nature. But I liked what I seen from the Lakers defensively after a slow start in the first half. A great aspect to the first half Laker fan was clean basketball by the Lakers. They were able to take care of the ball. I believe they only had like 7 turnovers or so. Being off of a few months, I expected more sloppiness from them, but they really impressed me in terms of this game, even though it is a scrimmage, taking care of the ball. We know most teams coming back or being off for a long time, it's going to be sloppy in terms of the chemistry and getting to know each other. They just added 2 new players, of course, with Deion Waiters and J.R. Smith. So it was good to see them take care of the ball. Lakers go up into the second half, up 11, 55-44, and then going on to the third quarter, to start the quarter, KCP had a nice lob pass to JaVale McGee off of a curl. KCP does that very well. He comes off the ball hard, looking to score in triple threat or to attack the cup, and then of course that'll bring the defense over, and then they'll have a lob to JaVale McGee or to Dwight Howard or AD. So he does that very, very well in that type of action to play motion offense. But that was a good play by both KCP and JaVale McGee to execute that. And then, I like the passes from Kuzma. I know he struggled a little bit in terms of his lob passes, but it was a good aspect to see him kind of look to, be a facilitator. He's done that in college, watching him in Utah. He was able to act as a point forward and facilitate the offense. But he has to improve on his defense, man. That's one thing that is definitely going to be a hallmark in terms of him getting more tick. But I believe if he focuses on facilitating more, things will open up his game. In terms of him not forcing, looking always for offense and trying to force the issue. But I like what I saw from him this game, and within the second half. And then Steph Curry, man, looking like his brother, Steph Curry, he just got hot from three. And helped reduce the Lakers lead to 2 points, 72-70, and then Mavs went on a 27-13 run going into to the fourth quarter, led by Steph Curry. To get to within the fourth quarter, up 3, 77-74. The fourth quarter, Laker fam. So a nice pass by Dion Waiters to Dwight Howard for the end one to start the fourth quarter. Seeing what Waiters and Smith need to improve on is team defensive rotation, as they were losing their man very easily this game, even though it is a scrimmage. But the Mavs in transition played very, very well, but at the same time the Lakers have to improve defensively, communicate, and be able to track their man. You can't lose your man too often. I understand it's a scrimmage, but when habits are repeated, they can also be taken into meaningful games. So hopefully they're able to correct that. The film crew and the coaching staff points this out to JR and Dion Waiters. So I'm sure they will address that into into film session and then correcting those type of issues in the playoffs, because of course meaningful games, man, you can't make small mistakes like that. You have to minimize your mistakes. But Lakers made a solid push towards the end of the game to get within striking distance with Smith and the youngins THT, Costa Antetokounmpo, Costa Kufis, K Cock. Like what I saw from them. THT, man, in the open court looks really good in terms of attacking. I like the fact that he understands tempo contrast in terms of changing speeds and directions, throwing his man off. That's a valuable skill to have as a guard, tweener, a guard, forward. So it's good to see that for THT. I think he's a diamond in the rough. The Lakers have drafted very well over the years, man. So shout out to our scouting department. They have done a good job for the last decade plus, man. You can argue probably since '96, drafting guys like Derek Fisher, et cetera, man. They've done a hell of a job going forward in terms of picking up good draft picks and finding diamonds in the rough. Unfortunately, Lakers did, of course, come up short, losing this game 108-104. But it's a scrimmage. They're getting their feet wet after a 4-month hiatus due to the pandemic, of course. But let's get into the game stats. So LBJ and AD, man, we already know what they're going to do. 12 piece. But it's good to see AD being able to hit his jump shot, and LeBron James looking into playoff mode already, man. So that's a good thing. And then my boy Quinn Cook, man, it's finally good to see him get some tick. Hopefully he's able to get some tick. He's making a case for it. I know it's the first game. I know watching post-practice reports from Coach Vogel and other guys, he spoke highly of Quinn Cook. So hopefully Quinn Cook is able to get some tick come to playoffs. But he had 13 points and 2 assists this game against the Mavericks. And then JaVale McGee, man, solid play from him as well. 13 points, 2 rebounds. Dion, a.k.a. I Get Buckets Waiters, man, 9 points, 3 rebounds. Kyle Kuzma, 9 points, 7 rebounds. Let's get to my 5 takeaways, man, from this game. One, Dion Waiters will be the third option. I think that's not debatable, man. I'm not going to put Kyle Kuzma out of the equation, but I will say that Dion Waiters is ready and willing. He's not shy from a bucket. Like I said, he gets buckets. Number 2, JR and Dion, man, need to really improve on staying with their man defensively. They're getting lost often in transition, especially. That's going to be something that needs correction immediately. That can't happen, in the playoffs and things of that nature. So they really need to improve on the transition D and not losing their man. And then number 3, Danny Green's shot, looking true to form, looking better. He's going to need to be able to hit open shots come the playoffs. He's been a little suspect this defense in terms of his defense. He gives effort and grit, but we need him to make open shots. So it was good to see him this game hit open shots. And then number 4, Lakers need to improve on, their transition D and containing shots on the perimeter. That's something that's been an Achilles heel for the Lakers pretty much all season. So, against teams like the, Dallas Mavericks, the Houston Rockets, who like to jack up a lot of threes and hit in transition, that's going to be a key element in terms of stopping them and making them chasing them off the line and making them, shoot mid-range or attack the cup, because we got big man inside. Like Coach Frank Vogel said, he wants to build a defense from the inside out. So he's going to force, and this is what he did with Roy Hibbert. In Indiana, he wants to force teams to drive so that they have to deal with the big man inside as opposed to them hitting open jump shots. So I like that philosophy. And then the last takeaway from this game, the fifth one, Kuzma really needs to improve on his one-on-one defense. He's standing too erected. He needs to get more into defensive stance. But anyway, let's get into the play of the game, man. LBJ to LeBron James to Dwight Howard for the lob dunk in transition. Check it out.
Intercepted. Lakers doing a nice job of getting their hands in the passing lane. Dwight Howard up top, fast break points, and here's why. LeBron James, Dwight.
All right, Laker fam, it's a wrap for the podcast and the game recap and my 5 takeaways from this game. Get up in the comment section with your thoughts and takeaways for the first Lakers game back after the 4-month hiatus or so. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. I'm Tony on Lake Show Podcast, and I'll see y'all in the next game recap. Peace out.